Alright, welcome back everybody. This mission I can actually remember liking, but I have never played it on the harder difficulty. So, do get bodyguards though. Well, actually, hang on. Hang on. Have I actually... I've played as Guan Yu several times. I think I may have used all of the outfits. We'll do the one without the hood. I don't like it, but... What's the spice of life, everybody? I was thinking that today I may offer another story about my dad. Um, because I finished the last one with a story of dad, and I feel like that this is one that'll go over very well. I guess I'll start with this. Um, in college, I had a public speaking class, which is the college I went to. It was a required course for every single degree, and I think that's really important because anybody that's operating as a professional, and I'd say really everybody, period, especially in a day and age where we have so much isolation, or a lot of our social contact is not direct. And we get very comfortable, and sometimes, it's not good. We have people that become like trolls, and harass people and stuff like that. Um, but my point being is, and I was the same way, our social skills are stunted somewhat. And that was it was an awesome opportunity for me to come out of my shell and have fun and learn valuable skills about holding a room and just speaking eloquently, and um, which I was already doing kind of, but to take advantage of the way I speak, um, and use it in such a way that an adult, a professional adult, would. So, with that being said, um, one of our very final projects we had in that class, and every week uh, we had two classes, and the first class was uh, purely a learning experience, where our instructor just taught. I don't know why the gong will not ring. Um, and then the second course would be presentation. Whatever the assignment was, is she would teach, give us our assignment, um, and then we would come back the um, next day, and we would just spend the entire. Uh, I forget how long my college classes was. I want to say 90 minutes or something like that. Might have been a little bit longer. Uh, I don't know. Uh, but it was really fun. But one of our last assignments, it wasn't really so much as a given topic. Almost every assignment was as a given topic in which you had to, um, you know, follow some type of guide. The last assignment of the year, of the course, was a culmination of everything you learned. The ultimate you uh, pick a story or a point that you want to uh, drive home, you know, something that will take full advantage of everything that you've learned in this class, and give a presentation. And I picked, because as she was explaining the assignment, she always had, you know, like a handout or whatever. As she was explaining the assignment, there was one story that immediately came to my mind as perfect, because well, let me tell it to you. Let me tell it to you. And this is a story about my dear old dad, and this was when I was a little kid. My grandfather had a classic Mustang, and when he had cancer the first time, and he was convinced he was dying, which he actually, the cancer went into remission. He beat it, and then it came back sometime later. Then it killed him. But he, as we should all hope to be so lucky to do, before he died, he tried to get his affairs in order. And part of that was he wanted to deal out his inheritance ahead of time. Between my dad and his sister, my dad's sister, my aunt, the two kids he was wanting to deal out, and all the grandchildren, what he wanted them to have, what he wanted his wife to keep, you know, stuff that he, which admittedly was very little, stuff that he wanted gotten rid of. And as part of that, he gave his Mustang to my dad, who's always been a car guy. And some 2 hours or so away from where we lived at the time, there was a classic car show that Dad really wanted to go to, and he thought, hey, you know, we'll take the Mustang, and as a family, it was me, my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, all of us. We fit in this Mustang, and I was little enough at the time that we could actually all fit and we could do this. But we went, and it was in the middle of the summer, and it was fucking hot, and the air conditioner was tore up in the Mustang, and it's leather seats. And so everybody's sweating and sticking to the seats, and the windows are down, and it ain't helping. And it's a long drive back and forth. But we make it to the car show, and it's actually cooler outside than it is in the fucking car. And we're getting there, and we're having fun. Well, it just so happens that Dad, he needs to go number 2. And so we break off, the boys together, and there's not really a venue. There's no indoor part of it. It's just, this really old country town that's been somewhat preserved. You know, and it has a very classic look to it, very nostalgic feel. And these hills on the outskirts that, just row after row of classic cars are parked for people to walk by and enjoy. And my mom and my sister were a lot more interested in the classic town part. Whereas my dad was a lot more interested in the cars, and I was a little kid, I wasn't really interested in either, but I was just, you know, I was happy to be there, happy to be part of it. So me and my dad and my brother, we break off and we go our own way, and we're looking at the cars. He decides he needs to poop. Well, there's no indoor venue here. It's all outside, but in a few locations they have strategically placed porta potties. Now, I need to really give you the full feel of this. You need to understand, like I said, it's the hills, and they have placed this porta potty trying to place it out of the way of all the vehicles. They've placed it up on this hill. Now, I'm sitting on the far end one side of the hill. My brother is walking around on the far side of the other. My dad is at the top of the hill in the porta potty. And there's cars around us at the bottom. And there's people walking around looking at all the cars. And I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of waiting for him to come out and being done. And I'm looking around, I'm watching the clouds, I'm watching the people. And I start hearing screaming. You sons of bitches. I told you. And I look around. I was like, well, that sounds familiar. I look up at the top of the hill. And I see that screaming is coming up from up there. And Dad is screaming at the top of his lungs. I said stop. And he starts throwing around the goddams. And he's just... And I look. And if you've ever seen one of the nicer older clocks, right? The pendulum. You see it swinging, rocking back and forth rhythmically. The porta potty is doing the same thing. Where they put the porta potty, it was uneven ground, and I don't know if he was getting about done or whatever, but he shifted in that porta potty, and it started to rock. Well, if you were in a porta potty, and it was miserable outside, it was very hot, you were sticky and you were sweaty, you just got done taking your dump, and this porta potty that's been used for several hours already, so you get an idea of what you're looking at there. And you're sitting in it, and it starts to rock. That's not a very good feeling. Understandably, you might be a little upset. Well, the more upset he got, the more he moved around, the more the porta potty began rocking. So where it was before is kind of going like this, eventually it's going like this. And the more it rocks, the more he's screaming. Now, he is convinced that somebody, or he thought it was me and my brother, were standing on either side of it and rocking it back and forth, mess with him. And he is screaming at the top of his lungs and throwing around every cuss word that he knows. And the people that walk by are looking at this and they're just amazed. And they're looking at me, and I'm having to pretend that I don't know who this is, right? I was like, I'm looking around, I'm trying to pretend like I can't hear it and shit. And it never stops rocking, but he flings the door open. He like pulls his pants up enough to where he isn't showing anything that he doesn't want seen. But he throws the door open, and he sees that not me, not my brother, not anybody is even remotely close. And when he stops moving, the porta potty stops moving. And I'm looking at him, and I can see the gears turning. I seen the realization sink in there. And it was just a great day, and he refused to talk about it. That was one of those things where the time had to pass a little bit for that wound to heal. But that shit was absolutely hilarious. I'll never forget that. So long as I live, I'll never forget that. My dad is absolutely hilarious, especially when he's not trying to be. There are some times where he'll come in and he has this look on his face, just this grin. He'll say, "Hey," I say, "Yeah, Dad." I seen this on Facebook, and then he'll proceed to like tell me a meme, but it doesn't have like the picture. Uh, it's a lot of fun. Keeps me laughing. I was hoping that story would take up most of this episode. Uh, but I know I still have a little ways to go here. We gotta escape through the gate. I wish the horse would trot with a little bit of urgency there, but he doesn't seem to want to go.
The enemy is strong.
Damn.
Enemy officer defeated. Report. A Wei ambush party has appeared in the north. Carriage is in danger. Must be protected.
I'm too slow.
We can't fall behind.
Stop it.
Carriage is in danger. Lord Guan Yu, this is no time to be stubborn. I, Zhang Liao, will guarantee the lady is protected. Resisting further would only endanger Our Lady. Very well, Zhang Liao. Until I find my brother, I shall yield to the banner of the Han.
That wasn't so tough. Let's see who we got next time. The Dion Way. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed. Until next time, bye-bye for now.